Hey groupers, hope you're ready to continue our journey through the book of Acts. In the 8th chapter, as we're introduced to the next servant, the ministry leader, Philip, as he continues the ministry of the church. I shared with you on Sunday that my family might have thought of Claudia as a rebound. I'd been in a 2-year relationship in high school, in the beginning of college, and then I started dating Claudia. Well, my family might have thought that she was a rebound. I asked you to think about a bad situation or a sad situation that opened up doors that may not have ever opened before. So to get you talking, I'd like you to break the ice by sharing about yourself. Did you ever have a relationship that started like mine? Maybe it had to do with work, maybe your career, maybe it was a church, that something happened at one church and then you found the church that you have been at ever since. Maybe it had to do with school, or even something physical, something bad or sad that turned out now to be something that you're very grateful for. Well, in this story, God uses Saul's persecution of the church, which is bad and it's very sad, to spread the gospel, to get the Christians out of Jerusalem, to fulfill the Great Commission. My question is, why do you think that the church wasn't reaching out? Why do you think that Christianity was primarily a Jerusalem and Galilee phenomenon and that they hadn't gone out to share the church? Why do you think that the church was still pretty closed? Next, we're introduced to a man named Simon in this passage. Now, this is not Simon Peter the Apostle. So I wonder, do you have Simon as a huckster in your mind? Meaning that he was performing magic with sleight of hand illusion? Or do you have him as a Wiccan, meaning that his tricks were by the power of evil? As you read this passage, what box do you put Simon in? Is he a huckster making money, or is he using evil to make money? And then I'd like you to talk about Simon and his belief. It says in verse 13 that Simon believed. Next question that I'd like you to wrestle with is, do you think that Simon's belief was sincere and that it was genuine? Or do you think that Simon's belief wasn't sincere, it wasn't genuine? And then, how much belief or what kind of belief does it take to be sincere, to be genuine? I think the answers to those questions are very, very important to us. Finally, in addition to your study of this text, I'd also like you to talk about the relationship of baptism and the Holy Spirit. Specifically, do they happen at the same time or do they happen in two different times? Specifically, do you believe in one-stage baptism and Holy Spirit, meaning they happen together, or do you believe in two-stage baptism and Holy Spirit, meaning that they happen separately? For example, in the Roman Catholic Church, they baptize infants, and then at confirmation, when they're teenagers, they give their lives to Christ and they receive the Holy Spirit. And the Lutheran Church, I believe, also practices that. In many Pentecostal churches, they practiced two-stage understanding of baptism and the Holy Spirit. Baptism is one thing, and then baptism of the Holy Spirit is a second thing, and they expect that baptism of the Holy Spirit will manifest some sort of supernatural gift like speaking in tongues or prophecy. Or do you believe in one stage, which is certainly what our church teaches, that when you are baptized, you receive the gift of the Holy Spirit? What do you think that this passage is teaching us? Or do you think this passage is just unique because the gospel is finally going outside of Judaism? Well, every week I share with you what I like and ask you to share with the group what you like. I love that Simon Peter stands up to this other Simon. I really like that. I also challenge you to share what you don't like. I don't like that Saul is murdering the church. I don't like that the church is being attacked. And then application. I challenged you this last weekend to think about someone that you've given up on. The Jews had given up on the Samaritans. They were just bad people and always going to be bad people. And I challenged you to think about somebody in your life whom you've given up on and that you would decide that you were going to recommit, stepping back into that relationship, taking the gospel to that person. Well, I hope that you have a great group, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.